Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we're talking about Psychic Detective Yakumo or Shinrei Tantei Yakumo. And I apologize if I totally butchered that name.
Oh, you totally did, but that's okay because I challenge anyone to try record a pronunciation for yourself. Send it on in. See if you did any better.
Let's clarify that. If you do not speak the language fluently, and you are just a couple of losers like us, please record it and send it in. We would love to hear from you.
We'll play back the winner, the closest to Google. Oh, man.
All right. So this came out in October 2010, ran all the way through December 2010. Producers for are NHK, Sogo Vision, and the studio for it is B Train. The source for it is actually a novel, and I would honestly disagree with most of the genres, or at least one of them. So the genres are mystery, horror, and supernatural.
Not much of a mystery.
Not really. No, not really horror. I get why they're trying to be a horror, but I really didn't get that horror feel or aspect from it.
Yeah, more thriller than horror, I would say.
Yeah, that I can agree with.
Horror to me seems like blood, guts, gore, gruesome imagery. Whereas here it was just maybe suspenseful would be a good one, but not. It wasn't even that suspenseful because the story was not good enough to draw you in to that level, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually totally get that. I mean,
and that's our show.
And that's it right there. I mean, okay, so it
had a good base. If you read the book, I'm sure it's a lot better. I think its source material would be much, much better than what we got.
It had the potential. I mean, it had the foundation. It had the potential to be really, really great. I totally get where Yakumo is coming from too. So when he first meets Haruka, she comes to him and she's basically saying, "Hey, I feel like my friend's possessed and everything like that. Will you help me out?" And he's like, "All right, fine. You gotta pay me." And she's like, "Wait, you're not gonna do it for free? I'm sorry. Who are you? Who are you coming up to me?" It's
you're not my lover.
You're not my friend. Why would I do this for free? And her reaction, I don't honestly understand. I do not understand it.
Well, I understand it. It's entitlement.
Exactly. But I don't understand it because I'm not entitled.
Fair. But I mean, that's the character she was supposed to portray. She was supposed to be the light to his darkness, the hope for his despair, the humanity to his, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Are you laughing at the picture I just sent you?
Yeah, I am so laughing at that picture. All right. He sent a picture, and there is a particular line in the series that neither one of us will ever say on this podcast. I guarantee you that right now.
And not even on the just podcast, just in general, because we are
way too light-skinned to say anything of the nature.
Yeah. There's some derogatory language. One line that I could find, and I hope it was a mistranslation, but I also have the timestamp if you're curious.
Sorry. We will post the timestamp in our Discord for those who are of the privileged few.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a few gems that if you're paying attention, it makes perfect sense. Now, I do have a question for you, and I want to clear this up because I could be wrong 100%. Been wrong before. I'm okay with it. There's 13 episodes, right?
Yes.
Episode 10 and episode 12, are they the exact same episode?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
I might not have seen episode 10 then.
I mean, honestly, I would say you really didn't miss much.
Reason I say that is I watched episode 12 twice. I know I did because and the site that I was watching it on had a next button, and I just kept clicking the next button, and I was like, this is really out of order. This is kind of weird. And then I watched episode 11 and I went, oh, so this is the backstory to episode 10. I hit the next button after that, and the episode repeated itself. And I went, wait a second. So I skipped through it to like random spots, and I was like, wow, this makes no sense. This is the exact same episode. And then I watched episode 13, and it was over. And I'm like, well, I don't think I missed too much, as you said, because it wasn't really a plot hole that I missed. A key factor in the plot that I missed. Now, every episode seems to be cookie cutterish. Serene opener. Problem ensues in the first 3 minutes. You spend 15 to 18 minutes solving it, but not really. And then you got a resolution that really would have resolved itself, kind of.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. Not always.
Yeah. There's only out of the 13 episodes, there have been 4 episodes, maybe 4 instances where he played a key position in solving a problem, where if he wasn't there, it would resolve itself anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
And the biggest plot twist of the whole thing, the big bad, it wasn't even the biggest twist. It was the second biggest twist. The big bad guy, the villain of the whole story, happens to be his father.
Well, we already knew that. I mean, like, that was basically pretty much spelled out in the first couple of episodes. But
then they told you in there.
Yeah, and then they decided to say, hey, wait, by the way, he's actually already dead, which, honestly, I already had the feeling that his dad was already dead.
Yeah.
And I already had the feeling that his mom was already dead because she just disappeared. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure she's dead.
That was just one of those, I see dead people. Why aren't you sad your mom's gone? I'm not sad because you see her, something like that.
Well, it's not that he sees her and he's like, I get why he's not sad. He's not sad his mom's not gone, or his mom's gone, because
she tried to kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
At the very last second, the mom decides to have a change of heart after she's already a spirit. Didn't see that coming, right?
Oh, no, I totally saw that coming.
Yeah, I know. I'm being super sarcastic. Like, everything in here is generic, cookie cutterish. And again, the material it's coming from, probably very good, probably suspenseful. But in the animation, when you told me, like, I made it a point, I make it a point not to find out when these shows are aired unless I saw them while they were coming out.
Yeah.
And when you said 2010, I was shocked. I was expecting 90s.
No, not from the animation. The animation definitely was...
No, the story.
Oh, I mean, like, you could tell it was in the 90s from the animation.
No, the story. The animation, I've seen great stuff in the 90s. I've seen really bad stuff. But the storyline, the way that, I don't know, in more recent years, I would say in more recent years, the author, I guess, assumes the audience. I'm hoping I'm saying this right. When the author assumes the intelligence of the audience, so they don't have to spell everything out like they did in here. Like the biggest twist where the dude was a ghost, the dad was a ghost. It wasn't a big twist. It wasn't a surprise. It was something that, 6 episodes prior, you're like, you know what? That dude's probably not there.
Yeah. And that was really kind of a dead giveaway. And especially with like the interactions and between him and everyone else, it just really kind of just was blah.
Very bland. Yeah.
Like the ultimate big bad for it, which was Unkai, which is Yakumo's father, biological father. He's a ghost, and he just basically takes advantage of people's particular emotions, but they already have to be pretty
deranged,
damaged, and on the verge of doing murder anyways to be able to go that far. I mean, like literally, it's like, wait, what? So like for one of the episodes, I remember they were he convinces a guy to murder other girls.
Several other girls. I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, several other girls. It's like, yes, let's tie a brick to them, toss them in the water, and then she's going to possess the body, and then they're going to be able to get away. But the knots were supposed to be loose enough so that way the daughter could undo them, but apparently not loose enough for the people that were being drowned could undo them.
Yeah, it was the weirdest. Well, you assume the people being drowned were knocked out. Now, the premise behind that thought was his daughter drowned. And if you find someone similar and you put them in a similar emotional state as the victim or as the spirit is able to possess them, drive out the occupant's soul, and take over the body.
Which, when I saw that, I saw major foreshadowing.
Oh, hard.
Like you could not, if you did not see the foreshadowing from that spot, I don't really know. You weren't paying attention. Yeah, you weren't paying attention. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, quite literally, they referenced it, not even just then, but they also referenced it a couple times beforehand too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And there was, to the point of almost every character was giving you hints. The most obtuse character, the autopsy dude, who honestly, I kind of liked him.
He was one of the better characters. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say he was one of my favorites. That said, even he was like, I don't know why I took this picture. And the picture was of the dad and the evil mistress doing all the dad's dirty work. This acrobatic gymnast superhero person.
Yeah.
Like, she was not, she was a rather, I would say, average built woman, but she was throwing people around like she was Superman. She was doing mid-air turns and accelerated twists like a gymnast would, and then throwing stuff with superhuman accuracy and power, and just laying waste to any opponent she had.
Well, yeah, I mean, because she's just that good.
Okay.
I mean, look, I don't know
where'd
about
she learn
you,
this.
But look, she was trained by a ghost that she obviously has feelings for, and at the ripe young age of what, 7, 8, 9.
I thought it was like 4, but that makes sense.
Like that. Well, whatever. I mean,
she was in school. You're right. She was in at least 2nd grade.
Straight up murdered 4 grown adults like they were nothing. No problem at all. Like, I don't know about you, but that says to me that she is on a new level of awesomeness. All right. On top of that, she can jump off of a 3-story building, land, and run without any problems at all. I'm just saying.
And parkour.
Parkour.
Hardcore parkour.
Yes.
By the way, she was in heels the entire time. So she jumped 3 stories down, landed in heels, and just walked it off, jogged it off, if you will.
Oh, no. She just did a full-on sprint from it. It was, I mean, look, I don't get it. I really don't. It had the potential. I mean, like, and granted, at least for her, she had a reason to be messed up. She had a reason to murder, and she had a reason to be messed up. Like, her background story was the only one I actually felt bad for, aside from Yakumo's.
So she was what, incestuously born?
Incestuously born, and then her father, who's technically her brother.
Yeah, I never understood. I didn't understand it. So
the grandfather had sex with the father's wife. So with his son's wife, which then gave birth to her. And so the dad, the wife's husband, ended up having sexual relations with his half sister / daughter in a secret room where she was chained up.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the gist of it.
Oh, that's not creepy at all.
Oh yeah, no. So hers is a really messed up. She had like a real reason to be messed up. And then you had Yakumo's background story, which was his mother was captured and was held captive by Unkai, his biological father, and raped, and she was pregnant with that child, and she gave birth to the child, and then she was manipulated and said that her son will become exactly like him, and she was pushed to the edge to where she would murder him because he is going to go and murder a bunch of people. So she tried choking him out, then ran away, and her lover, who actually did love her, who was going to be married to her and become Yakumo's father in a manner of speaking, ended up being murdered by Unkai as well. So he has a messed up background, but he doesn't find all that out toward the end. And then you have Psycho Girl with her messed up background. And
I did like the fact that not everyone had a horrible background, so that the world itself was good. And I really liked the fact that his uncle was a damn saint.
His uncle was awesome.
Like, just straight up.
Yeah.
If I had to choose a character I wanted to have save and make a real person, him. 100%.
Yeah, his uncle Ishin was,
selfless.
Well, I mean, like, he was a high Buddhist monk, so he was But what I really liked is when Yakumo has a red eye, so that way he could see the souls of the dead and interact with them, I guess, but not actually technically touch them or whatever. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, Yakumo, after Yakumo sees him, after Ishin sees Yakumo basically try to cut out his own eye, I totally felt for that, and that his gesture, his saying, I will go through this whole thing with you, by putting in a red contact when he doesn't have to do that, just really speaks volumes to how great of an uncle and person he is. And for him to still be there no matter what for Yakumo, regardless, just again, really speaks volumes.
Yeah, no, great, fantastic guy. And he even named Yakumo.
Yeah.
And that was just like, he was a surrogate father to the point of, you ever meet those people who are like, yeah, I'm the dad, even though they're like not biologically the dad, but they step up to the point where they're like, even if the real dad, like the bio dad, came back,
yeah,
they'd be strangers.
Oh yeah.
So like this is what this guy did, and he had a daughter of his own, kind of, sort of, I think, and she didn't talk, but like you could tell he cared.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, well, what was weird is she was like supposed to be deaf, right?
Mute, not necessarily deaf, I think.
No, she was supposed to be deaf because you would talk to her and she wouldn't have a reaction, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
But at other times that wasn't the case. She actually ended up having, like, I mean, like, she would interact with people, I guess, and like call their names or something like that or whatever, and they get her attention or something like that. I don't know. Like, they explained it.
Like that.
They explained it like she could feel the intent and the emotion behind it. She just can't hear you, is something to the effect of what they said. But it really, yeah. I mean, like how the anime was laid out, I'm pretty sure, I'm like almost positive it's laid out better in the novel. I would be surprised if it's not.
Before we move away from his uncle was so selfless that, one, he was a donor, so that when he did die, all of his organs were donated. And when I say all, when they were holding the casket, it was remarked, wow, this thing's really light. And the answer was, yeah, they donated everything they could off of him. And not only did he donate himself to as many people as he could to try to help, he gave his daughter to the detective who couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
Like, the dude was, I don't know. The if you said sacrifice and dignity and generosity paint you a picture, it'd be him.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a huge fan of show me, don't tell me. And they showed you.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
So
I mean, like that's one
I'm
of the
gushing, I know.
Yeah, no, that's honestly, I have to agree. That's one of the saving graces for this actual show is him. Him being there, how he is, everything like that is just a saving grace. I would also say another part of the genre that I would probably, well, no, I wouldn't add it as drama. Or not a drama, but a genre. They had some comedic points. They had some comedic lines, or just the interactions, or what was said, or anything else was comedic. Was fun.
Yes. In the weirdest times.
Yeah, not just in the weirdest times, but a majority of it was in the weirdest times.
Like they're trying to be serious and like boom, 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 and then they crack a joke, and you're like, oh. That was a bad attempt to break the tension.
Yes.
But I respect it because it was needed.
Yeah. I found it funny that they kept referring to Yakumo as a cat.
Yeah, he sleeps all day.
All day, all the time, which I am honestly kind of jealous of. I wish I could just do that.
You know, most adults, I believe, are jealous of that only because we don't hardly get as much as we want, let alone need, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, exactly.
Especially this last week, geez.
Whew. Especially with the last couple of years.
I'm over here trying to gain sympathy, and you're like, bruh, you got about 5,065. What was it? What was the Rent song? 5,042,600 minutes, or something like that?
Yeah.
542,600 minutes, yeah. That's how much longer I have to go to be tired before I can compete on your level.
All right, man. We all have our own levels and upsets and everything else like that going on.
Yeah. Yeah. We were having microphone issues earlier, and the equivalent to that is my mic was going no problem, whereas yours was like, don't understand it. That's our sleep patterns. Mine are amazing when I don't need them to be. When I need them to be. You're like, well, I guess that was a 2-hour power nap. We're good.
Heck yeah.
For the next 20 hours.
For the next 20 days.
Yeah, right. Didn't get enough sleep. That's okay. Let's keep doing this. We'll work it out. We'll figure it out as we're going. This is a moving, generating, ongoing experiment.
Hell yeah.
Good God. So I realize this is probably going to be a kind of a short go of it, but I mean
like, there's
really not much.
Yeah, there really isn't much going on. But there's one thing I want to do before we actually continue on. There's one thing. So
okay,
spirits or the ghosts or whatever they want to call them are the embodiment of emotions for that individual, supposedly.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Why the hell or how the hell is he able to maintain and continue to build those emotions and stay there in existence? For I'm speaking of Yakumo's biological father, by the way.
The only thing I can think of is because he had the ability to see ghosts, and while the son can only see ghosts and talk to them because he has one red eye, the dad has two, which makes me think he's much stronger and was actually able to interact. So my thought on the matter was, being as powerful as his son is, his dad's got to be at least twice that. So perhaps instead of only interacting, he was able to exercise, and he was able to like almost command the ghosts. So when he died, he was extremely remorseful, vengeful, just all these rapid negative emotions, because the dad always said the core of humanity is darkness.
Yeah.
Maybe the dude just absorbed a crap ton of evil before he died in the hopes that he wouldn't pass on, and that he'd be able to stay on this mortal frame until he needed to download more evil. You know what I mean? Because I think that his way of interacting with people is giving some of his own evil to them to bring their spirits down, to bring them to depression, to make them easier to manipulate. What do you think?
I really honestly got nothing to fight against it. I don't know. I would love to hear from someone just like that's read the novel that can actually provide this. I don't think he has the power to exercise. I think honestly, he just has both eyes red.
Okay.
There's just no real benefit to having the red eyes other than having two red eyes, other than both eyes are red. Maybe, possibly. Just throwing that out there. I don't know.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's a good option. It sounds like it's a good idea, and it's very plausible.
I mean, like, yours is pretty plausible too, but I don't know. I mean, like, we're kind of shooting from the hip here, so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if we go too much farther, we'll just end up repeating ourselves, and it's never fun. As much as we do that already. That's not what we're trying to do, you know.
Oh yeah, no. So, all right, on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
Animation quality was decent, not quite above par, but I would say animation quality is a 6 out of 10. You get a D.
Okay. So,
but story kind of had potential. Not great. I'm gonna rock a 4. I would not recommend this to other people enthusiastically, and I would not watch it a second time unless somebody can point something I missed out. Maybe I missed a major plot point, a plot device that changes my whole perspective on here, like our guy on Facebook.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, I'm actually also going to mirror you. I'm going to mirror your score and give it a 4 as well. I thought it was, I can't recommend this in good conscience to really anyone to watch. There's some movement, some interactions that I really didn't like. The animation was okay. But the story I really didn't like it. And honestly,
it's not something you'd go to Blockbuster and rent.
Yeah. Wow. Throw that reference.
Yeah, right. By the way, there's one in Oregon.
Yeah,
I'm super stoked to go see it.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I posted it in our Discord. Remember?
I know. That's why.
Well, you can actually do a Airbnb for it too, so you can stay the night there too.
You can stay inside a Blockbuster?
Yeah, they have a little bedroom set up in there and everything like that.
Oh, God. Growing up, I used to think Blockbuster was haunted at night. I don't think I could do that.
Nice. All right. So we both give it a 4. Ultimately, it's bad. It's not something that we would either recommend or anything like that. But like you just alluded to, someone on Facebook actually left a comment for us on episode 44 of the podcast. Throwback. And
let's see. Do we remember what the title of episode 44 was?
Sound of the Sky.
Sound of the Sky.
Yeah, so episode 44, Sound of the Sky.
I listened to it and I thought we did a pretty good job. But do you want to read the post, or
no,
we'll throw up on Discord?
It's pretty lengthy. It's pretty lengthy. So if you are actually on Facebook, I actually do encourage you to go actually find it. He makes a lot of great counterpoints to what we had talked about.
I was going to say mostly to what I talked about. He's like, well, actually, this, that. And I wish I was articulate enough to be like, well, no, actually, this is what I meant. But no, he nailed me to the frickin' cross on this one. And it was right on point. I loved it.
Yeah. And honestly, we love the feedback that we do get, especially when it's something that's detailed like this, to help really explain to us and help us better understand something that we have watched. It doesn't matter. Again, goes to show, it doesn't matter how old the episode is. It doesn't matter the comment or anything like that, if you feel like we didn't do it justice, if we missed something, if we didn't understand something, we want you to tell us. We want you to reach out and let us know. It doesn't matter what. We would love to hear from you all. And we are so happy for Brian on Facebook to just really reach out to us, say what we didn't understand and really help us understand. And I don't know about you, but I'm actually, with this enlightened information, I kind of want to go back personally, not part of the podcast, but personally go revisit the actual show.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say, because I like I said, I listened to the podcast and we gave it a low score because it didn't really, it didn't grab me as being good. But after reading those points and the particulars that I had missed, it changes my whole perspective on the story, because it's like I was looking at it from the side when I needed to look at it from the front, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So
it didn't change my score to like an 8 or 9, but it's definitely not what I had it at anymore.
Right. And so thanks, Brian, for letting us know, setting us straight, and definitely loved hearing from you on that. Again, if anyone else has any comments, any feedback or anything like that, any of the shows that we have talked about or reviewed, just let us know. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we got wrong or what we didn't understand. We'd love to hear that. We genuinely do.
We love even more if you let us know what we got right. Just saying.
All right. So before we go, we also have a recommendation, and Angel is actually the one that gave us a recommendation for this week. We had talked about him last week on the last week's episode a little bit, that he had given us a list of shows and movies that we're going to kind of string out along with other recommendations that we get in and everything like that. And for this, we're actually going to go with the Ancient Magus Bride for next week's choice. So
now have you ever seen it, that show?
I have. I actually really enjoyed that show. I thought it was great. It was one that my wife actually really loved too. So, and she didn't get to finish watching it all. So it'll be a great revisit, and she'll actually be able to watch the whole thing. So I'm excited for it.
Me too. Ancient Magus Bride was one of those ones that it came out with one episode and then waited like a season before it came out with another one. And I thought they were standalone movies, but since they weren't, and when I watched them all together, I loved it. 100%.
It is great. It is a great show. I'm looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. Thank you, Angel, for the recommendation on that. And before we go, we have a couple of announcements. As we talked a little bit about before, we actually have a Patreon set up on for us now to really kind of help us take everything to that next level. If you value what we do, if you really get any kind of value out of this, spreading the word of mouth, getting the word out there about us, sharing us with your family, friends, anyone else. And then also, if you want to be able to help influence and support the content so that way we can take everything to that next level, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. We also have a merch store set up. We got some shirts, some stickers, mugs set up in there as well. Feel free to check it out. Be happy to hear from everyone on that, and especially for some recommendations or anything like that. Would love to hear from you on there. If you don't want to do a pledge, but you want to buy a little bit of merch, maybe get yourself a shirt. Birthday's coming up, brand new year, Valentine's Day. Maybe get someone a nice little shirt for Valentine's Day. We
might do a special one for that.
Maybe. Oh yeah. And also, we have Rick's Logic shirt that we talked about a couple episodes on there. Rick's Logic is my logic with an upside down tree, because his logic is my logic, in case you forgot from that episode.
It's my, I don't see things the way most people do. Oh, we beat the DMCA claim.
That's right. We didn't. If you were on Twitter, Facebook, or anything like that, and you heard about it, were wondering why we missed a week. It's not because we wanted to miss a week. Again, last episode talked about it a little bit, but we did beat the DMCA claim. The company, Madman Entertainment. Thank you, Madman, for for working with us, trying to get that taken care of and getting it all resolved. We are now back up and running in full steam, getting everything up on there. And thank you for that, really, honestly.
Yeah. And one main reason we're doing Patreon is to try to diversify. So if something like this does happen again, we can still get our content out on a more regular basis and
not be beholden to the one.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why we're going with the Patreon as well. We want to be able to diversify, get our content out there. So
yeah,
please feel free to message us with any questions. If you prefer a different way to be able to support us or something like that, let us know. We would love to hear from you regardless. You can reach out to us on featuredanimepodcast@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. Email us on there. And at those anime guys on Twitter, Featured Anime Podcast on Facebook. Feel free to reach out to us on there like Brian did. Leave a comment on something or email us like Angel did. Or you can join us on our Discord. Link for that is actually in the show notes. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment, or the links for everything will be in the show notes as well, and the description on there. Again, really would love to hear from you all. And until
we do our best to reply.
We do. No, we do. We do our best to reply to everyone that we can. To everyone that we can. And until next time, I'm Jack.
And I promise I'm not an apparition. You won't have to use a red eye to see me. And I'm Rick. Later.